Okay, good morning, guys. This is the video for Monday, February the 1st. On Friday I thought we would be back in school for Monday, February the 1st, but we're not. One more week of virtual, so I appreciate everybody who's getting their assignments in on time, and those of you who are slacking, not doing anything every day. Your test is going to reflect your results that we took on Thursday. So guys, you need to step it up. You need to complete your assignments. You need to be clicking on the instructional videos and watching these with me while I'm teaching this skill to you. You need to follow directions on the worksheets that are being submitted through Cami. Some of you are submitting stuff and it's not right. So make sure you are doing the best that you can, just like you were if you were in class. Okay, today we're starting a new story. And today's story is seeing stars. So again, it's something to do with the universe. So seeing stars. All right, the first thing I want to do is read the street rhymes. Look around at nature. What kinds of things will you see? You might detect a roaring river or spot a herd of deer. If you're out till midnight or till twilight, the stars will soon appear. All right, so if you have your link open, or after you get through with this video, you need to open up your link to Reading Street and you need to look at pages 438 and 439. And on these pages, it shows you three pictures. Again, the big picture and then two smaller pictures. The big picture is of two kids, and I'm going to show you this so you can see it as I'm doing it. The big picture is of two kids, and they look like they're looking at something in a tube. So the other one kid's looking like observing, and the next kid is kind of writing, taking notes. So what are these actions of the kids? What are they doing? As far as looking, what do you think the guy's saying about the bug in the jar? Do you think it moves? How can it live in there? There's several questions that could be asked about that. So these two kids are doing an experiment with a bug in a jar. All right, so if I had to do my flip chart, I would be writing movement on it, how the bug moves in the jar. All right, the next picture, which would be this little one right here, you see two kids with a telescope, and they're looking up at the night sky. Now, how are these active children working together to investigate nature? Well, they're looking at the stars, aren't they? They're looking at the planets, or looking at what they can see at night. I'm trying to adjust the focus. With the telescope. So that's nature. They're talking about the sky, the stars. How do they develop? Why are they out there? This one talks about the bug. How is the bug able to survive in a jar? How can it crawl up and down the jar? Where is it going? What's it thinking? And then the last picture, you see a picture of two girls, or three girls actually, because if you look real closely, that's a girl right there. She has a magnifying glass in front of her face. See how large her eyes are? And in front of that magnifying glass is a butterfly. So they're studying a butterfly and how it, if you'll look real close, you'll see a stick right there where the butterfly had landed on a little limb of a plant. So these kids here are studying how the butterfly reacts to something. Okay, so that is investigations. They're investigating. All three of them are investigating something to do with nature. Okay, we're moving on. Our read aloud today is called The Dancing Skylights. And before we do our read aloud, we're going to go over our amazing words. Our first amazing word, we have 4 of them today. Our first one is the word reflect. What word? Reflect. Say the word again. Reflect. Now I noticed reflect has a prefix, and I know that from having from last week. So reflect is to do something again. So, or means to do something again. So what do you think reflect means? All right, here it is in a sentence. When the lights were green, orange, purple, or blue, people imagined sky fighters battling with shiny weapons that would reflect all the colors of the sunlight into the clouds. So what do you think reflect means? Okay, it means that it's giving off some kind of something that's shimmering, something that you're going to see it. Just like if the sun hits your window just right, it gives a reflection. Or if you look in the mirror, you get a reflection of yourself. Okay? So reflect. The next word I want you to say is microscopic. Ooh, that's a big word. Microscopic. Microscopic. And I see the base word, or I think about, anytime I see micro, I think about something small. And anytime I see scopic, I think about something you're looking at. So microscopic, here it is in a sentence. During these storms, microscopic pieces of dust blow through the space in all directions. So microscopic might mean what? It said microscopic dust. Let me give it to you in a sentence. Sometimes my fingers don't work too good. It takes me a little bit of time. Okay, let's see if they have it in a sentence in the back of our book. My hair under a microscope looks like a piece of rope. So a microscope is a device used for making things look smaller. Okay, so this word, or excuse me, just dropped it. This word is microscopic. So it's a form of the base word microscope. And microscope is a device that's used to make things bigger. Fix that. All right, your next word is dusk. What's the word? Dusk. Here's your sentence. The best time to watch the northern lights is from dusk, when it just begins to get dark, until dawn, when it begins to get light again. So dusk is the beginning of dark, like when the daylight is almost gone, but you still see a little bit of it, and it's night is starting to appear. So that's the dusk. All right, and your next word is twilight. What word? Twilight. Excuse me. People in these countries go out on clear moonless nights and gaze into the twilight. So twilight means something to do with light. Most birds get ready to sleep at twilight. Twilight is the time of the early evening when it's just beginning to get dark. So twilight and dusk could be synonyms. Twilight and dusk could be synonyms because both of them mean right at dark. Okay, so let's go over our words again. The first word is reflect. Reflect. The next word, microscopic, which in this read aloud is called microscope. So a microscope is something you look into. The next word is twilight. What's the word? Twilight. And the last word is dusk. And remember we said these are synonyms. That means right at dark. Okay, I'm going to do the read aloud. I want you to listen. And when you hear these words, I want you to kind of raise your hand or thumbs up. Or just like we do in class, guys. I know it's another week of instruction, but we got to keep moving. Okay, the name of this is The Dancing Sky Lights. What do you think that's about? The Dancing Sky Lights. Well, I'm thinking sky, dancing, lights. When I think of lights in the sky, I think of either the sun or the stars or the moon. So if it's the dancing sky lights, well, we know our story I said was seeing stars. So I'm thinking it might be something to do with stars, since the picture before that I just showed you had a girl and a boy looking up at the stars. So I'm thinking, based on what I already know, that this is something to do with the stars. So we're going to read this, or I'm going to read it. You're going to listen. You're going to do your hands up when you hear the word reflect. What word? Reflect. Microscopic or microscope. What word? Twilight. And then dusk. Okay, guys? All right. What would you think if you looked up at the sky one night and saw colored lights twirling above you? That would be interesting. You might think they were beautiful, but you might be scared too. Not many people in Texas ever see a sky that seems alive with lights. But people in other parts of the world see a colorful sky called the Northern Lights, which is very beautiful, I've heard. In countries in the far north, lights of all colors seem to dance across the sky. The Northern Lights are beautiful, and they are nothing to be afraid of. But a long time ago, people were afraid. It was scary to see the sky turn colors and not know why. So they made up stories to explain what they saw. The stories told why the lights appeared and why they moved in the strange ways they did. Some stories told of animals dancing. Others talked of a colorful dragon. In still others, it was a fox. In the fox story, it was sad that as a fox ran through the snowy fields, its tail hit the ice. This caused sparks of fire to shoot into the sky. How silly is that? Sometimes the northern lights look like a red river of fire. When they happened years ago, people thought that a real fire caused the northern lights. When the lights were green, orange, purple, or blue, people imagined sky fighters battling with shining weapons that would reflect all the colors of the sunlight into the clouds. Today, scientists can explain what northern lights are in a different way. When they study the sun, they learn that sometimes there are sunstorms. During these storms, microscopic pieces of dust blow through the space in all directions. When the pieces of a dust reach Earth, they hit gases in the air, making the gases glow in different colors. Why does this happen? The air around Earth's poles is like a giant magnet. Have you seen how a magnet pulls on a paper clip? Well, Earth's magnet pulls on the dust pieces. The colors of light you see depends on which gases are hit by the dust when it enters the air. When the dust hits nitrogen and helium, the sky turns blue or purple. And guys, these terms you'll hear when you get in like middle school and high school, nitrogen, helium, gases, things you'll learn more in depth when you get to middle school, late middle school, and high school. When it hits oxygen, the sky turns yellow or green. And when the oxygen is high above us, the entire sky turns red. The best thing to watch the northern lights is from dusk, when it just begins to get dark, until dawn, when it begins to get light outside again. The best place to see them is in the northern countries such as Sweden and Canada. People in these countries go out on clear, moonless nights and gaze into the twilight. The lights swirl and sway as they dance across the sky. They are just as fascinating as they've always been, just not so scary. So in other words, before, the northern lights were believed to be caused by certain animals or certain things in nature, when in actuality it's actually caused by gases and dust in the air. So this was my prediction right about it being about the stars? No, my prediction was not right. But that's okay, because with predictions we make a guess and then we read it to prove it either right or prove it wrong. So that's what a prediction is. So the dancing skylights was not about the stars. It was about the lights that appear at night in Sweden and in the northern part of America, or on Earth, the northern part of Earth, which is Sweden and Canada, is where it can be seen more than likely. Okay, so that's our read aloud. All right, I'm going to go over our vocabulary words. And guys, on this vocabulary, you're going to be instructed today to, because I didn't give you the sheet, so I'm going to upload it. I want you to get out your journal, your reading journal, and I want you to write these down in your reading journal, just like we would daily. You would write your table of contents, you would write vocabulary, and then you would write your words down. This first word is active. What word? Active. And active, hold on just a minute.